It's been a month since I quit my last job. So basically, I'm jobless right now. And a few things have surfaced. I wanted to put them down while they are still fresh. And this time, I'm recording it in English. I may lose some nuance because English is not my first language. I'm Korean. But different personalities tend to show up when I switch languages. So I'm also curious to kind of observe what might show up. So now that I am technically jobless, there's no deadline I have, and there's no boss chasing me to do something, and I have plenty of time to myself. But you know what? I still sometimes feel the pressure to produce something, or if I check the time and it's 11 a.m. in the morning and I'm still at the gym, then I tell myself, hey, you should be done with your morning workout. If you have finished it earlier, you could have more time to yourself to produce something, to do something more productive, etc. So it's not like if I have no deadline, there's no one chasing me to do something. I still have my inner voice telling me to do something. It's really strange because that's like this very uncomfortable feeling sitting at the center of my chest. You know the feeling when you ride a roller coaster right before it kind of drops, that sense of something bad is gonna come. In Korean, we call it 세한 느낌. It's definitely not the same degree as riding a roller coaster, for maybe 1% of that feeling. So I still carry that uncomfortable feeling even when I don't have actual deadline or when I don't really have someone chasing me. I ask myself, why do I have that feeling? And it's a fear of falling behind. And here's the thing, there's no race, but I still have this hypothetical race that I put myself in and still whipping myself, hey, you need to run, you need to do something. And when the fear is not grounded on anything tangible, you need to kind of realize the cure of that is not getting rid of it. The cure of it is to find a way to live with it. So I tell myself that it's okay to feel that way. There's no reason to feel that way. But if you still want to continue to feel that way, that's okay. But know that it's going to be okay. Nothing is going to happen. No word is going to fall below your feet. So don't worry. So that's kind of a way that I'm trying to apply to myself. And I know it's coming from a lack of self-love. And self-love is like a muscle that you can build. When you are younger, it's easy to build muscles because of hormone. And that's why parenting is so crucial and important in shaping one's worldview and how we talk to ourselves. But even if you have a very critical inner voice, that's a really good place to start, because having that awareness is the first step to change that internal narrative. So what I'm doing is I have this journal template that I use every day. And the first bullet point I have there is writing a kind letter to myself. I know it's a little bit cheesy, but it's really the muscle. I really need to keep reinforcing myself that I need to speak kindly and nicely to myself to really create this new neural pathway in my brain. And as you need to put a lot of time, effort, and attention to build physical muscle, the same logic, the same methodology applies to this self-love as well. So I've been doing that for a few years already, and I see a slow progress. So I would like to recommend this method to people. Sometimes I get help with Claude or any LLM tool you use, because it's extremely difficult to talk kindly and nicely to yourself. How I use Claude is because it has all the records of my journals. I just ask Claude, hey, can you write a kind letter to myself? And then based on the journal entries I made, Claude wrote a kind letter to myself as if it's me. And when I read that, sometimes it's really mind-blowing how difficult it is for me to come up with kind message to myself. But actually, if I just think I am the third person, I am one of my friends, it's extremely easy. I know that doing this is definitely going to help me, and I would like to recommend this to people who are also suffering from lack of self-love, or people who have very critical inner voice to themselves. Like, imagine if you live with someone who is always very critical of you and who always points out how you could have done things better or how you could improve. It's like you keep signaling to that person that you're never good enough. And if you don't have that awareness that you have that kind of inner voice that is very critical of you, you're stuck for life with that kind of person, which is you being critical of you. So I'm very glad at least I have that awareness now, and I am working on it, and I know day by day it's only gonna get better. It was never about time. It was more about the emotion. What I'm saying is, back then I thought if only I had more time to myself, then I could be feeling better. I could be having some freedom to do things that I want. But now that I have all the time to myself, I'm realizing it was never really about the time. What held me back was more about the emotion, the feeling of discomfort that I had no agency in my life. Let me explain. If I'm not convinced by why I am doing certain work, then it kind of builds up internal friction inside of me. And if I continue to stay on that track, the accumulative cost of doing something that you're not really convinced of doing, or doing something that you don't really understand why you're doing that, it kind of takes a toll on you. So it creates this uncomfortable feeling inside of you, which kind of holds you back and you feel stuck. And then I ended up spending hours just doing nothing. If I kind of reverse it, if you do something that you truly enjoy, then you don't really get exhausted even while you're doing it. And after you're done with that work, you still have the energy and positive emotion, or I would say the right mindset to do something else after work. One thing I realize these days is you can't rush somebody else's timing. So no matter how hard I want this person to be a certain way, I cannot force it unless he or she wants it themselves. So one example I have is like learning a foreign language. Like a few years ago, I told my husband that I wanted to learn German as the third language. And he said that's one of the most useless languages to learn. So he wouldn't really recommend me learning it. And then I didn't pursue it any further. So my motivation was not strong enough to overcome one skeptical comment back then. And now, lately, I'm starting to learn German, and it's surprisingly very enjoyable. The reason why it's very enjoyable is because no one's forcing me to learn this language, and I have enough reasons why I would like to learn this language. So I think the time or the waiting has its purpose, and sometimes maybe the time is not right. And no matter how good, how obviously great doing something is, if the person who's on a receiving end, if that person doesn't see a point, I really cannot force it. And me forcing it is only going to make it worse, because it's only going to create this internal friction on the other side. So they kind of push away and push it back. I thought I knew this back then, but I'm really experiencing it these days, especially during my coaching session. So my role is really just to hold a space for the other person to explore their inner mind, rather than me trying to inject what I think is good for that person. I guess it's really similar to parenting as well. Huge respects to all the parents out there, including my parents. And I was thinking why I want to put these things online. I'm not really looking to be an influencer, and I'm not really expecting this video to go viral, because it's really nothing special, nothing like amazing, nothing marvelous. But I guess, first of all, I kind of enjoy filming it, and I'm trying out this new video editing tool called Rue. I think it's developed by some Korean company, and it's kind of cool. I like trying out these new tools, and there's a joy of like pure joy in doing something that is new, and I don't mind putting myself out there. And every now and then I receive this really lovely messages from people saying that they find my videos very useful, helpful, and they became more courageous after seeing my video, and that really made my day. So that's really good enough, because it's really just a channel that I open to get connected with like-minded people like me. So that's the main reason. And if there's one hope in social media, because of the characteristic of social media, most of the things that are pushed by algorithms are like very flashy, very like highlights of people's life. But like I'm just putting my unfiltered random thought out there to show that there are a variety of different ways in living our life. And sometimes you don't really have to follow the shortcut or what's known as the right way. You just do it your own way, figure out, and enjoy the process. So yeah, this is me trying to enjoy the process, trying to record every moment. I'm not going to record every moment, but yeah, me just being me. And I hope this is helpful to anyone. Lastly, I want to say this to people who are in your gap years or between jobs or treading between two things, you are not behind. You are not falling behind. There's no race. It's your life. You get to live your life at your own speed, on your own term. So don't be afraid of trying out things that you want to try. And you got this. 안녕.